The Lenovo Tab M11 offers a fantastic value. Starting at $180, we get a pretty 11-inch display, good performance, and an active pen. I used the tablet a lot for 6 weeks and enjoyed reviewing it. Unfortunately, it's very disappointing in one respect, but Lenovo has made significant improvements in another. For this review, I compared the M11 with the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus, Lenovo Tab P11 Gen 2, and the Amazon Fire HD 10 2023. These are 3 direct competitors with which it must compete. Compared to the competition, the Lenovo Tab M11 gets good results in terms of design and build quality. The body is made entirely of aluminum, which makes it feel noticeably more premium than the Fire HD 10 and Galaxy Tab A9 Plus. It feels sturdy and well made. The only thing is that is not perfect is the transition from the display to the body, where a bit of plastic has been added. However, this is normal in this price range. The weight of 465 grams is also normal, and it's 7.15mm thin. An 8-megapixel camera is highlighted on the back, which takes surprisingly good photos and videos in this price range in sufficient light. The 8-megapixel webcam is also very useful. You can also unlock it using facial recognition using the front camera. Although this works well, it's not as secure as a fingerprint reader or as this technology would be with a second depth sensor. On the sides, we get a power button, 2 volume controls, and a micro SD card slot. It also has a USB-C 2.0 port and a normal headphone jack. I tested the audio port with very cheap headphones, and the sound with them is better than the tablet's 8 speakers. But that is almost always the case. In fact, the M11 speakers are really good compared to the competition. Although the A9 Plus is a good deal louder, Lenovo's sound is noticeably more pleasant, even at the same volume. The sound is also significantly better than of the Fire HD 10 and roughly on par with the P11 Gen 2. The M11 has an 11-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1920 by 1200 pixels. Roughly speaking, we get Full HD on 11 inches, and that is high resolution enough. My test shows that the display is very solid overall, but not perfect. It's fully laminated and the viewing angles are wide. I think it's bright enough for indoors, but I would like a slightly brighter screen for outdoor use. And indeed, the 2 competitors from Samsung and Amazon are slightly brighter. When Lenovo announced the Tab M11, it was advertised with a 90Hz screen. However, there's no sign of this on their official website or in the settings. So I installed a tool to measure the frequency, and indeed, the Tab M11's display supports up to 90Hz. You just can't configure it yourself. In this respect, it's just as well positioned as the Galaxy Tab A9 Plus and Xiaomi Redmi Pad SE. The Lenovo P11 Gen 2 even supports 120Hz. I think it's pretty cool that an active stylus called the Lenovo Tab Pen is included at under $200. The stylus is about the size of a ballpoint pen, has no additional buttons, and is powered by an AAA battery, which is included. The stylus works as you would expect. It's pressure sensitive, can be used for drawings and handwritten notes, and the palm of your hand is ignored when you place it on the touchscreen. Sounds good. There are some good features built into the software too. You can take screenshots and write on them, and Nebo is a good note-taking app that is pre-installed. However, when I compared the pen with Samsung tablets with the S Pen and iPads with the Apple Pencil, I noticed that my handwriting on the M11 does not look as precise as on the others. My handwriting also looks much better on the Lenovo Tab P12 and P11 Pro Gen 2. Unfortunately, this is typical in this price range. The pen is simply not as precise as on many more expensive competitors. However, I suspect this is not due to the pen itself, but rather due to the touchscreen. Be that as it may, you are even slightly less precise with the M11 stylus than with the Amazon Fire HD 10 2023 with USI 2 pen. I compared the two very closely, and the one from Amazon is slightly better. The tablet and pen together cost about the same. Overall, the pen is okay, but not good. It's definitely good enough for drawing and painting as long as it's not your job. It's good enough for signing documents and jotting down a couple of notes here and there. However, I don't think the pen is good enough if you want to write down handwritten notes frequently. I cannot recommend the tablet for students that want a decent tablet with pen. In this respect, it's worth spending an extra $100 or a bit more and buy a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite 2022 or soon 2024, or an inexpensive iPad, and this can also be a used one. The Lenovo Tab M11 is powered by a MediaTek Helio G88 processor with 4GB or 8GB of RAM and 64 or 128GB of storage. There's also a version with LTE and SIM card slot. My version is the one with 4GB and 128GB. In my Geekbench 5 benchmark comparison, you can see that the performance of the Lenovo Tab M11 is slightly weaker than the Galaxy Tab A9 Plus and Lenovo P11 Gen 2, but both are also slightly more expensive. The processor performance of the cheaper Amazon Fire HD10 is slightly better, but Lenovo's graphics performance is stronger. It's also interesting to note that the performance of the M11 is a good deal better than the Lenovo Tab M10 Gen 3. However, the Tab M10 Plus Gen 3 is slightly stronger. In the 3D Mark Wildlife test, it performs about as well as the Lenovo Tab M9, M10 Plus Gen 3 and Amazon Fire HD 10. This benchmark tests the graphics performance, and the A9 Plus and P11 Gen 2 are a good deal better in this respect. I was pleasantly surprised by the performance of the M11 in real life use during my 6 weeks with it. Common apps run smoothly, and even some standard multitasking and multitasking in PC mode is possible. Above all, the performance of the system as a whole is solid. However, you can't expect top performance like with the premium tablet. If you have an expensive smartphone and want to switch between demanding apps just as smoothly on the M11, you will be disappointed. This is still an entry-level tablet after all, as my gaming test shows. PUBG Mobile runs well with HD settings, but you can't even select higher ones. Unlike the Galaxy Tab A9 Plus, Fortnite is not supported. However, Genshin Impact runs quite smoothly with medium to slightly higher graphics. It's definitely playable. You can therefore play most games on the M11, but often not at the highest graphics settings. The Tab M11 runs Android 13 out of the box and is equipped with the UI, a slightly customized interface from Lenovo. I think it's great that Lenovo promises to update the tablet to Android 15, and it will even receive security updates until January 2028. Quite a long time, and Lenovo has improved significantly in this respect. In the past, they often released one major update only. I really like the software in general. On the one hand, because the interface is not heavily customized, but also because some exciting features are pre-installed. These include PC mode, which is a kind of desktop mode. It works well and is useful if you connect a mouse and keyboard. Lenovo Freestyle also works quite well. This allows you to easily transfer files between your PC and tablet, but also stream apps to your PC. So you can use Android apps on your PC. What I find even more useful is that you can use your Lenovo tablet as a second external monitor for your PC with Freestyle. Since the connection is wireless using Wi-Fi, your Android display has a lot of lag and it's not so pleasant to actively work with. However, it's still very handy if you want to have something running on the side that is a little bit more static. An X or newsfeed, for example. In my battery test, the Lenovo Tab M11 achieved a battery life of 7.5 hours, and for this test I always run an HD YouTube video at maximum brightness in an endless loop. You can see that the battery life of the Amazon Fire HD 10 is significantly longer, even though it's got a brighter display. The battery life of the A9 Plus and M11 on the other hand is roughly the same, as the A9 Plus is also brighter. So can I recommend the Lenovo Tab M11? Yes. In fact, I think the value is fantastic. It's high quality build, the performance is good for the price, and I like the fact that we get such long updates. The speakers are great, and we are getting a good entertainment tablet that you can also play a game or two on. The display is good, but not perfect, as it could be brighter and it's therefore not so suitable for outdoor use. My opinion of the pen, on the other hand, is twofold. On the one hand, it's great that it's included because the M11 is cheap, including the Stylus. On the other hand, it's not suitable if you want to keep a daily diary. There are better alternatives out there for handwritten notes. However, it's sufficient for light drawing and painting, signatures and doodles, at least if you don't have high standards. An exciting alternative is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus, which I have already mentioned several times and reviewed already, of course. It's got a brighter display and the performance is slightly better. However, it doesn't support the Stylus and the build quality is worse. Be sure to check out my review before you decide between the two tablets.